this is our unit on seasons and weather. This is our last lesson about meteorology. We are going to first go over our vocabulary as always. Meteorologist is a person who studies and predicts the weather, and meteorology is the study of weather and making weather predictions. Records is a written report of an event. Warning is telling someone in advance that danger is near or coming. And satellites are objects designed to go around the Earth in space and collect information. Your purpose for listening is to listen for the types of people who depend on meteorologists' predictions of the weather, okay? Dear kindergartners, this is my last letter to you about seasons and weather. Today, we will learn how to know what kind of weather is on the way. Have you ever watched the weatherman or weatherwoman on the news? Sometimes people blame the weatherman for bad weather, especially when their plans are spoiled by the rain. But the weatherman does not control the weather. He just tries to predict or make his own best guess at what the weather is going to be like later in the day, tomorrow, or next week. Sometimes he is right, and sometimes he is wrong. The study of weather and making weather predictions is called meteorology, and the person who does this is called a meteorologist. The words weatherman and weatherwoman are sometimes used to describe people who appear on television to tell you about the weather. Maybe you've seen them on the news. Often, weatherman or weatherwoman is a meteorologist. Predicting weather is more important so people will know what to wear that day and whether or not they need an umbrella because of the rain. Predicting weather also helps people to plan things like picnics or trips to the beach. If my parents are planning a family picnic, for example, they would want to make sure that it's not going to rain on us while we are outside. But picnickers and vacationers are not the only ones who care what meteorologists have to say. Farmers need to know how much rain to expect. If the meteorologist says it's not going to rain for a while, farmers may need to figure out another way to get water to their plants. In fact, anyone whose job can be affected by the weather needs a meteorologist, whether the person is a baseball player, a construction worker, or a garbage man, or an airline pilot, or an astronaut. One way meteorologists predict what the weather will be like in the future is by studying weather patterns and temperature from the past. When you watch a weather report, the weather person will tell you what the high or warmest temperature and the low or coldest temperature will be for the day. High temperatures usually come during the daytime and low temperatures are usually at night. However, the weather person can also tell you if the temperatures on a particular day are normal for that time of year by checking the weather record. The weather record is kind of like a weather diary. It lists the weather and what it was like on that day in previous years. Aside from looking at weather records, what else do meteorologists use to predict the weather? How do you know what is going to happen? In fact, predicting the weather is quite complicated, and even with all the amazing computers and equipment we have nowadays, the weather person is still sometimes wrong. Meteorologists' predictions are also correct a lot of the time, too. This is thanks in part to satellites, like the one in this picture. Satellites are objects launched into space that contain cameras, radios, antennas, but no people. Once in space, the satellites travel all around the world. The satellite cameras take pictures and beam them down to the meteorologists. Using the photos, meteorologists can see storms as they develop and predict whether the skies will be clear or cloudy. Of course, you don't always need a meteorologist to tell you the weather and what it's going to be like, especially if dark clouds like this, roll over your town. These dark clouds are types of cumulus clouds and often develop into thunderstorms. You can also find cumulus clouds during nice weather when they appear white and puffy like a cotton ball. These are cirrus clouds. They are thin and wispy clouds that float way up in the sky. Usually, cirrus clouds mean the weather is going to be clear and pleasant. Stratus clouds are the third cloud type, and they float fairly low to the ground. These flat clouds can stretch across the entire sky. They sometimes drop light rain or drizzle. The most important part of a meteorologist's job is to help save lives by warning people when severe weather is on the way. Look at this picture. It was taken when a hurricane was heading toward land. A hurricane is a huge storm that forms out over the ocean. The meteorologist in this picture is studying images of a hurricane just as it is about to strike land. The image was made by a computer that is able, thanks to satellites, airplanes, and other tools, to determine how fast the wind is moving, how much it is raining, and in which direction the storm is moving. Thanks to computers and satellites, the meteorologists saw the hurricane days before it came anywhere near land, so they warned the people to leave their homes and head to safer ground if necessary. A lot of people were kept safe from this severe weather because the meteorologists help people stay prepared for and safe during storms and whatever challenges the weather may throw at you. Even though you can predict the weather, Even though you can predict what the weather should be like during any given season where you live, it is difficult to always predict from day to day and exactly what the weather will really be like. So, it is a good idea to listen to your local weatherman or weatherwoman so they can tell you to carry an umbrella on that day or to bring along some extra sunscreen. That way, you'll always be prepared. Thank you so much for helping me with my weather project. From now on, I hope you'll keep an eye to the sky and always pay. Pause for discussion and play when you're ready. Pause for discussion, play when you're ready. Pause and play when you're ready. Pause and play when you're ready. This is going to be where you can draw a picture of a meteorologist in your journal. This is a sentence you can write about the meteorologist. If you would like to play with predictions, y'all can flip a coin and try to predict what side it's going to land on. Keep a little tally, see which one has more. And this concludes our unit on seasons and weather. I hope y'all enjoyed. Love y'all.